Don't chase it, kitty. Can you just let it be? Oh, is that bird teasing you? Hi, is the bird teasing you? I'm sorry. Hi, good morning and welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is episode 421 and we are here in my beautiful backyard and there's a bird teasing the kitties. I think you can probably hear him. He's just outside the screen and he's got the kitties in a tizzy. Oh well. If you're joining me live, please say hello. If you end up watching the recorded version, please also leave a comment. Hi Lisa and Grace and Lily, Becky, Judy, Joe. I think I put the camera a little too far away. Hi Mar, thanks for joining live. Hi Carol. And he's just standing on top of the fence, staring at the kitties and and talking to them. Hi Freezaby and Cherie and Thea. Melissa, thanks for joining live, everybody. I am obviously in my backyard. It doesn't look rainy at all, but the forecast was severe storms this morning. So it's a blackbird. He's just solid black. Oh, now there's 4 of them. And they're all right here. Oh my gosh. I don't know what kind of birds they are, but they are definitely driving the kitties crazy. Anyway, I didn't go to the beach because I was told that we were going to have terrible storms this morning, and I did not want my camera or my phone to get caught out in the rain again, so decided to stay here. Turns out it's beautiful, but that's okay. That means it's beautiful in the yard too. Hi Judy and Christy, thanks for joining live, and hello to everybody whose names I've possibly missed as well. So I'm working on my twisted fringe edging for my baby blanket. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And so I'm measuring out lengths of 9 inches because this particular type of fringe, you need 3 times the length in your elongated loop as the size fringe you want, and I wanted 3-inch fringe, so I'm creating 9-inch loops. And I'll do a quick demo of this morning too. Let me just pull this up a little bit so I can show you. I'm doing a twisted fringe around the entire border of the afghan. And some of you may recognize this. This is a wonderful edging that I did on a shawl in Motif Magic. And I do have a video on this specific technique all by itself here on my YouTube channel. And it's a technique of creating fringe where you don't cut the yarn. It twists up on itself, so this is all one continuous piece of yarn, which is just really great for wear and tear, right? I mean, you can wash and dry this. It's not going to unravel. It's absolutely stunningly gorgeous. I think it's the prettiest fringe I've ever seen. And it's not difficult to make either. So I'll do a quick demo here this morning, but if you really want to watch a great demo on this, I have it here on my YouTube channel, and you can just search by Twisted Fringe on my channel and it'll pop right up. I have done it in knitting and in crochet, so you can see how to do it in both techniques, and obviously this is the crochet version. So I found a box that happens to be the length that I needed. This is 9 inches, so I stretch out my loop 9 inches to then make a 3-inch fringe. I think on the last piece that I did, I can't remember now. I think I went with something a little bit longer for the shawl that I did in Motif Magic, but regardless, it doesn't matter. Whatever size you want your fringe to be, you want to triple that for the length of your original loop. Let's see, I don't think all of this is on camera, so let's see if I bend the camera down a little bit more, if that helps, and we will get started. So I have my body of work in my lap with the direction I'm working in. Like here's where there isn't fringe left, so I have that facing across my lap, and I have my crochet loop, or the loop, you know, my working loop for my crochet hook right here, and I'm going to measure it against the 9-inch box then slip the hook out and slip my finger in. Hang on to the loop over here at the stitch side so that it doesn't grow or shrink from there. I want to keep it at that 9-inch spot. If I don't hang on to it with this hand, and by putting pressure on this, I could end up stretching it longer. Don't want to do that. So I'm securing it here, and then I'm going to twist 21 times. And I'm twisting away from me, and that's going to be important in a minute. So now what I want to do is grab the midpoint with my pinky so that when I fold it in half and bring this loop that my index finger is on back to the stitch where I want to work it into, it ends up folding the twisted loop in half. So as I take my finger out of it, I want to line it up over the stitch so that I can slip stitch into the stitch and that loop. Now I'm going to take that twisted fringe and just kind of guide it into being evenly placed. And I'm just going to do 7 or 8 times. It was already twisted, but I feel like when I manually do it, I get a much more uniform look. So that's why I do that. So I did a slip stitch in there. So now I'm going to go to the next stitch on my afghan and single crochet. So that was actually the first stitch that I should have shown you. So let's pretend we're starting over now. We single crochet in the next stitch, then elongate our stitch, pop our hook out, pop our finger in, and 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I'm doing 21. It's going to depend on the thickness of your yarn and also the length of your loop for how many times you twist. And I'm twisting away from me on that, bending it in half, lining it up over the stitch, slip stitching through the stitch and that loop, then coming back and now twisting towards me. I'm going to like smooth this out and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And just kind of guide it to try to get it evenly twisted. It's already done, but I just like to manually do it to make sure that it's all done evenly. And then we'll single crochet in the next stitch to start our next one. I'll do one more. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. So you can see this is actually extremely easy to do. There's a few steps to it, but certainly nothing you can't handle. And I know this isn't the best of tutorials, so watch the other one that has a really nice close-up, and you'll be able to see it better. Let's see. It's very easy, Lily. Yes, it's very, very easy. And is absolutely gorgeous, and not like other edgings. I mean, you don't see an edging like this very often. So it makes for a really unusual component to a gift. I think it's going to be so beautiful in this baby blanket. Oh, there's a lot of side conversation going on during the tutorial. Okay, so maybe I didn't miss much, but does anybody have any questions for me or want to see that again? Yeah, Lisa, I would highly recommend trying this with watching the tutorial video first. It'll really help because you can really see up close what I'm doing and with the point of view of right over my head so it looks like you're doing. Oh, yes, Terry. Yes, do it on a halter top. Absolutely. Okay. Someone wants to see it again. Okay, so we'll bend the camera down. Should have everything here. I think you can see everything. Okay, so I just did my single crochet in the next stitch. So I'm going to elongate it, pop the hook out and put my finger back in. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yes, Lily, wonderful on shawls. I love it on the shawl that I made in Motif Magic. Absolutely. Oh, I can show you a picture of it in a second. I'll finish this. So we'll slip stitch into that same stitch where we did the single crochet. Then I'm going to pull this twist back out, make sure it goes even, and then twist it towards me 7 or 8 times. Works well for me. And you can see I just get them all so perfectly even when I do that. I don't mind doing that extra little step just so that they turn out perfect. I mean, how often can you say something turns out perfect, right? It's pretty wonderful. Okay, yeah, I was going to show you, oh, and then the next step would be to single crochet in the next stitch. Okay? It is beautiful. It is so, so beautiful. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. Now, I have doubled the yarn for this. I doubled the yarn for the blanket, so I kept the yarn doubled for the edging. On the shawl that I'm about to show you in Motif Magic, I used single weight yarn. But if your yarn is fine, if you were going to do this in Be So Fine yarn, you may also want to do it. Is it in here? It should be. There it is. Okay, so the shawl I'm going to show you is this one right here that has that beautiful twisted fringe on it. It's a little bit longer in the shawl, probably 4 inches or so. Here's a great close-up of the fringe. Oh, also in gray. Isn't that beautiful though? So pretty. And so it's done on the lower edge of a half hexagon shawl, and it just swishes so beautifully. I could go grab it. Does anybody want me to go grab it from my studio? I mean, I am home. I could go run and get it if you want to see it up close. Yes, Lisa said yes. Okay, I'll be back in 10 seconds. Well, and now that I've organized all my projects by book in those brand new fabulous containers, it was super easy to find it. Look at this. So I went into my studio. I have all 6 of these stacked up, 3 on top of 3, or 3 on one column and 3 on the other. And I'm going to buy more because I have enough for all of the books, but the patterns from my website, the free patterns from my website, take up way more space than one, so I definitely need 1 more for that. And I've got new books coming, so I probably need 4 more. Anyway, so this has everything from Motif Magic inside, and it started out organized, and it looks like this last piece that I put in is a thicker piece. It should probably go on the bottom, and if I'm correct, the piece we're looking for will be on the bottom because it is one of the bulkiest pieces in the whole book. But here we go. Look how easy that was to find because I'm organized. So here's that shawl. Here, I'll back you up a little bit so you can see it better. Shouldn't be too hard to do. Here we go. So here's where you can really see, look at the swish of the fringe. Isn't that gorgeous? But because it is done in one continuous piece of yarn, even though this is a couple of years old, you'll see there is no wear and tear to it. There's no fraying, nothing. It's just as intact as the stitch work because there is no yarn being cut with it. Isn't that amazing? I mean, I've loved fringe my whole life, but you know, it's a love-hate relationship, right? Fringe looks pretty for a while and sometimes it doesn't last. It depends on the yarn, depends on what you're doing with it. I mean, there's a lot to it. It's a love-hate relationship. When you do twisted fringe that you don't cut, it's a love-love relationship. There's no downside to this. This is done in Be So Brave yarn, which is my American Merino wool, number 4 worsted weight. It would be beautiful in any weight yarn though. You don't have to do it in worsted weight. It's a motif project, right? So you could make these motifs in any weight yarn. This would be gorgeous in Be So Sporty yarn, or Be So Bold, or Be So Lush, Be So Fine, Be So Serene. So what I did was make the motifs in a solid color along this line of motifs, and then this line of motifs, and that outer line of motifs, I added a ring of a pop of color. So you could do that in all the motifs, or you could do the motifs all in a solid color. Can you see the solid motif there? It really is a beautiful star formation on its own. So you can change it up by adding color, or you can change it up and just make it a lace focal point if you did it all in one color. But there's no wrong way to do it, no wrong way to add color work. And because it's a shawl that's not sized, it could be done in any weight yarn for different effects as well. So beautiful. Let me show you on the pattern again. This is the Lily crochet shawl, and so if you have Motif Magic already, great. If you don't have it, you can buy it, and you can also purchase the Lily shawl individually by itself too, if you would rather just have the pattern than the book. So you can see here are all those motifs that I mentioned. This one is done in solid color. This group had that pink ring. This group was done in solid, and this group was done with the pink ring. The pattern includes written instructions as well as lots of charts. And there is a video for it on my YouTube channel. So however you want to learn it, the information is out there in whichever format works best for you. Written instructions, charts, video. And like I said, you could do this in any weight yarn. It doesn't have to be worsted weight wool. It could be in any of my bamboo yarns, the bamboo and silver yarns. It could be in fingering weight, worsted weight, DK, sport weight. It could be done in multiple colors, 2 colors like this, 1 solid color, and any of the yarns will make that beautiful twisted fringe. Any of them. You could add beads to this. There's just unlimited possibilities when once a pattern is in your hands, the creativity doesn't stop there, right? The design doesn't stop there. It's how you choose the yarns and how you choose your colors and how you combine your colors, and whether you add beads or charms or whatever, you still get to add so much more of your personality once you start creating too. So have fun with it. All right, so we'll put these back in the bin. And I'm going to do them by weight this time, so I'll get the bigger pieces on the bottom, and it'll be that much easier to pull a piece next time. I think when I'm at my home like this, we should probably figure out things to bring out and do show and tell out here in the yard too. So like if you want me to bring out a specific yarn, we could show all the colors of a specific yarn on any given morning. How much time do we have? We're at 17 minutes. So if anybody has a request that I think I can handle, if you want me to bring out projects from any of the other bins, we could go through the website projects, or we could go through any of the books projects. I've got a whole bin on 80 handmade gifts, or we could go through everything in this one. Uh-oh. Becker's begging for treats. I leave a treat box out here for him, and he's trying to knock it on the ground, thinking he's going to get the lid open. Sneaky little devil. So I may as well just stop the mess and give him some treats. 80 handmade. Cherie would like to see 80 handmade gifts. Okay, yeah, I don't know if I've ever done a show and tell for that. Okay, I'll be back in a few seconds. Probably heard me coming from my flip-flops. Okay. All right, so I think the project on top here is a project that was rejected from the book. I did a tote bag made out of bandanas, and I don't think this one made it into the book, but it'll probably make it into another book. Super cute. You just take a couple of bandanas and turn it into a cute little tote bag. And you could actually follow the pattern for any number of my other tote bags and just use a bandana instead. It would work that way. Okay, so some of the pieces aren't in here because I've given them as gifts. The origami boxes, I have given those away already, and at Christmas time. Obviously the food things aren't in there, but a few of the boxes are still in here, and some of the hearts that we did for earrings and some that we did on cards are still in here. I think most of the cards I've given away already. Here's another one of those cute little boxes. Some of the jewelry is in here. As you know, the Kelly earrings aren't in here because you know I wear them all the time. But I do forget to wear the necklaces, so maybe this will remind me to start bringing them out. Here's one of the Lariat necklaces done in Be So Sporty Bling with some great little beads on the bottom. You can find the yarn and the beads on my website. So you could just pop this over your head. Super cute. And then we've got some other necklaces in here. I've worn this one a few times. This is the one with the whale tail on it. You can also get these in lots of different colors on my website, and it's done onto a very fine chain necklace. Just pops over your head. So cute, and you can get this in lots of different colors. So pretty. All right, what else is in here? Ooh. These earrings are super cute. These are knit motif earrings on the frame wires. Aren't those adorable? So for those of you that prefer to knit to crochet, you can do adorable earrings like the Kelly earrings too. I've got some beautiful bracelets in here with some gorgeous buttons, and you can find these buttons on my website too. So when you put this one on, the cord comes through the second cord and then goes over the button. And look at that detail with the knot and the loop through the loop and then that beautiful button. I love this bracelet. I think it's so cute. And all of these are in the book. These earrings are adorable too. I forgot about these. I should be wearing these. These are done with Be So Sporty Bling and Be So Dazzling held together, and they're done with mostly chain and a little bit of single crochet, and they're absolutely gorgeous. Look at these. So all of these projects that I'm showing right now are in 80 Handmade Gifts. Let's find the book so I can show you. This is the book. You can find it on my website. You can get an autographed copy from me on my website, or it's available in all Amazon markets all over the world. There's a whole chapter on food. There's a whole chapter on crochet. There's a whole chapter on knitting. It's a chapter on sewing and other miscellaneous things, and everything's based around giving handmade gifts. It's so awesome. You can find something for anybody in this book. It's unisex. There's some things for home dec. You could find something for anybody in here, and there's nothing speaks as profoundly as a handmade gift, in my opinion. Here are those heart motifs as earrings. So cute. Those would go with my dress today. I might wear these today. Cherie uses it all the time. I've heard that many times. I'm so glad to hear that. People tell me all the time that this is their go-to book for making gifts. This is a really cool slip stitch technique in crochet that truly does not even look like crochet. It looks like a woven cord, and it makes a great necklace or bracelet. This one has a little pendant on it. I also did it as a bracelet with a beautiful button, and you can find that button on my website too. So for this one, you put the button side over your wrist and then grab the other side and pop it over the button. And you have a gorgeous little bracelet that doesn't even look crocheted. It looks like it's some sort of woven cord. It's very easy to do. the beads are so, the buttons are so gorgeous. Like I said, I still have them on my website. You can buy them. They're so pretty. You could do a seashell. You could do any kind of a button on there. Got another fun Lariat necklace. This bead is available on my website too. So if you go to my website and go to the accessory shop, you know how there's yarn and books and single patterns and then accessories, you can find a lot of these beads there. This is a beautiful Lariat necklace. It has these beads at the bottom here. You could do it with a pom-pom even, or some sort of a bobble, or any kind of a bead. You could put a flower there. You could do it, make a crocheted flower and put that as the stopper on that bracelet. That's the bracelet that we were just talking about here. So this one's done with, I believe this is Be So Sporty yarn and Be So Dazzling held together. And so what I did was did a slip knot, or a lark's head knot, I guess, on one side of this, and then slid the other side of the chains through it, and it becomes a Lariat necklace. And then putting beads at the bottom here just gave a nice weight to it so that it dangles really nicely when you wear it. Oh, that would be cute with my dress today too. Then we've got another Lariat here with a Swarovski crystal ring. I still sell these on my website too. There's a few left. Aren't those amazing? That's a Swarovski crystal ring. And then you do a chain and add some fringe at the bottom. That's a beautiful little delicate Lariat. But you know what? This would also be cute if you did multiples of it like this. What if you did 4 or 5 of those long chains and slip stitched them and then did fringes at the bottom, or tassels? That would be beautiful too. It doesn't have to just be the one. And this was fun too. This was making stitch markers, and we added little mermaid charms to them and then added it to a bangle bracelet so that it looks like a bangle bracelet, I guess, but it was a way to present the gift to a knitter or crocheter so that it just looks cute and presented nicely that way, but it's really just a holder for your stitch markers. Aren't they cute? You can see better photos of all this stuff inside the book and at the book's page on my website. So if you go to KristinOmdahl.com/80handmadegifts, 80 handmade gifts, you'll see not only all of the projects, but all of the resources and things that you'll need to make all the projects. Some of the resources in some of these projects are things from my Amazon shop. Some of them are from my website. Some of them are tools that you might need for some of the food recipes. But let's get going and see some more stuff in here. This is awesome. This is a sewn project from the book. This is an eye pillow. Oh, I need to go put this by my bed. I don't need to keep this in here. I want to gift this to myself. This has lavender buds and what else is in there? I can't remember if it's rice. I think it's rice and lavender buds. And it gives you this, it's an eye pillow. And so the lavender is very soothing on your eyes at night, and the scent obviously really is relaxing, so it helps you sleep. And it's the weight of it that feels so good against the sensitive skin of your eyes. Very relaxing for a nap, or just a rest or meditation, or taking it to bed. And super simple to make. You could make a dozen of these in an hour if you were giving them as gifts. I made some toppers for mason jars. So imagine if you were making a gift. We're going to go way over on time if we go through all this today. Probably won't make it through everything. We'll try. So imagine if you were making a gift of food that goes in these jars. You could be making pickled carrots, pickles. I've got recipes for all sorts of pickled veggies that go in jars in 80 Handmade Gifts. But let's say you made those gifts or made jam or whatever, and then you wanted to decorate them. I made a knit and crochet topper, each that has a rose on top. So I just thought that that was the most adorable way. I've seen toppers for mason jars before, but I've never seen them with big, bold flowers on them. So this one is knit with a rose on top, and this one is crocheted with a rose on top. So beautiful. I love these. Love them so much. And whenever I can gift mason jar goodies again, I will definitely be making toppers for it. I think there's some knit and crochet pieces in here, but what I'm using as a holder for it right now is this basket bin that I made out of bandanas. Look at that. It's about the size of a shoebox. So can you imagine making a dozen of these and using them as organization in your closet, picking your favorite colors? This has a beautiful purple and turquoise, but this would be so adorable to use as storage in a kid's room or in your closet or in your craft room, or I don't know, anywhere you need some little bins. They're adorable. So they get stiffened with a stiffening fabric, but they stand up on their own. And look at this one's filled to the brim. I'm going to hold it just by my fingertips on the bottom, and you can see how sturdy that is. It is literally holding a ton of stuff inside. It has its own shape. When I take everything out, you'll also see that it still holds its shape when I do. So then there's some knitting projects, a drop stitch shawl. This one's knit. There's some great bags in the book. Here's one of the knit tote bags, done in a beautiful lace stitch pattern. Here's another one of, this is a knit drawstring bag. It's so pretty. Here's a knit Mobius cowl, done in one ball of Be So Tender yarn in basket weave. I love basket weave on a stitch pattern, on a yarn like Be So Tender that has that thick and thin texture. There's nothing prettier than simple stitches when you have a textured yarn. Isn't that gorgeous? And this is a one ball project, worked flat, so easy to do, and makes a gorgeous gift. You could pick any color of that yarn and make a beautiful Mobius. Here's a little tote bag done in a granny inspired chevron. This would be great in multiple colors, not just two. Imagine doing that in a rainbow spectrum. So pretty. This is a beautiful bag too. This is a crochet drawstring bag done in motifs. If you lined this in a contrast color, you'd see that lace pop even more. And it has a double drawstring with tassels. Oh, let's fill it with another bag. I'll fill it with the green bag so you can see that lace. You can see what it would look like if you put a liner in there, a contrast lining. See that? Aren't those adorable? I love this motif so much. Definitely want to use that one again. I love the way the corners line. I love the flowers in the center, but I love how the corners line up too. Yes, I do line bags sometimes, Cece. In fact, I've lined bags with my drawstring bags that you can buy as storage bags or project bags. They make great liners. I did that for the Queen Bee Fringe bag before. Terry, you just got to try. Motifs aren't that scary. You just have to try. So here was crochet and knitting on edging for some bandanas. So I wanted to have a pretty way to decorate a loaf of bread. And there are some really wonderful recipes for some fruit and for a lemon, a lime, and an orange scented fruit loaves and muffins in my in 80 handmade gifts. And what I thought would be really beautiful is to take that loaf and wrap it in a crochet or knit edged bandana to present it that way. So can you imagine wrapping a beautiful loaf of bread that you've made, or even store-bought, whatever, and wrapping it in a beautiful bandana? These obviously need pressing, but that's okay, you get the point. This is the knit on edge, and this is the crochet on edge. And you could do that on any color bandana with any color yarn, you know, match it to whatever the theme of your gift is. But it is such a beautiful way to present a gift. And again, wouldn't necessarily need to be handmade bread, but you can. I have recipes for that as well. But you could even do something store-bought. Just a great presentation. Lovely touch. Then there's a handful of washcloths if you wanted to do an assorted gift of washcloths. One of them is knit and has a really cool stitch pattern that changes direction. It doesn't really, you do this in one direction, but by doing some ribbing and some vertical and horizontal ribbing, it gives you a different illusion. And then there's a handful of different crochet ones. And I thought it would be really pretty to give a spa gift where you did an assortment of different type, where they didn't all match, do them that way, and then add some of my organic soaps or some of my body products. I think it'd be a really beautiful, assortment gift. What if I wrapped, I couldn't see all that. Sorry, I didn't catch all of that. So I've got some other sewing projects in here. So here's a little pouch with a little, got 2 different colors of fabric. All of these fabrics that I used are available in my Spoonflower shop, and you can see a link in the video description below for that. Oh, here's some of the cards. Here's one of the cards with crochet on it. And here's one with the embossed gold foil, which I also teach you how to do in one of the projects. Really, really beautiful. And making handmade cards takes no time at all, and it's such a nice touch. I don't think anybody would not, everybody would appreciate a handmade card. Here's some little pouches with zippers on them, which I teach you how to make, and those have contrast lining too, which I think is such a nice touch. All of these fabrics are available in my Spoonflower shop, and they all have, this is all my hand-drawn artwork on them. And then we have a case here that combines my fabrics and my yarn. I'll open it up. This one's really cool. I do have a case for crochet hooks in there as well, but this one is for holding cords. So if you know somebody that travels a lot, there's elastic in areas here to hold laptop cords, to hold headphones, to hold phone charging cords, and then there's a Ziploc pouch in the bottom here to hold bricks or anything else that doesn't fit very well up in the elastic areas. But you see these elastic areas have different sizes so that you can fit different size things in there, and it holds cord so nicely for when you're going to travel. Then I added a little crochet Be So Tender yarn and tassels on the end, and once you fill it, the photos in the book will make more sense because you'll see it filled. But then you roll the whole thing up and tie it with the tasseled chain ties. Okay, so now as promised, I'll show you how great this bin holds up even when it's empty. Look at this. Isn't that great? So it's a little bit bigger than a shoebox, and you can imagine you could hold shoes in it if you want, but you could imagine all the different ways you could accessorize with bright colored festive fabric bins. What a cute way to organize any room, a craft room, your own closet, a kid's room, just picking colors that match whatever theme you're doing. Just so adorable. I love it. All right, then I think we have some more bags in here. Oh, we've got some more cases. We've got a knit eyeglass case. There's a crochet one too. Yep, here's a crochet eyeglass case. I think if you wanted to use it for eyeglasses, you might want to line this one, or sunglasses, it would be fine in this case. Do I have my sunglasses? Yeah, so I'll show you what that would look like. Yeah, so you could put your sunglasses in there in your book, or in your bag. And then the knit one, same. This one has a drawstring tie on it, so you just have to open the tie first and pop them right in. This would be good for reading glasses too. This would be a great one for Father's Day coming up for a dad or a grandpa. That would be a great little gift. All right, so can we pop? Oh, and then I've got some cases here that you could make with grocery bags. This is weaving made out of brown paper, brown craft paper. So you could do that with grocery bags or with actual brown craft paper if you wanted to buy it, but you could definitely do this with grocery bags too. So fun to make these. There were 2 sizes. I don't see the other size now. And then there's some more tote bags and some drawstring bags. Some trivets. These were felted trivets from the book. In fact, any of the washcloths, if you did those in feltable yarn, any of them could be converted to trivets, and the trivets could be converted to washcloths too. And I think, oh, I've been wondering where this is. I want my apron back. This is a wonderful pattern from the book. This is to make an apron. I'm going to set all this down so you can see it. I love my apron. It has pockets in it. It flips. I'm trying to think the style of apron it is. Pinafore. It's a pinafore apron. So it's lined and reversible. You could wear it in both ways. So it just goes over your head, through your arms, and you're done. And so it's, once you have it on, it's got some great pockets in it, and I'll show you the back. It crisscrosses in the back. Does that show up well? Yeah, I think it showed up well. Isn't it adorable? I love, love, love this apron, and I've been wondering where it is since we moved here, and now I see why, because I stored it with the book instead of using it for myself. So I'll show you what it looks like on the other side now, because again, it's totally reversible. I don't think I put pockets on both sides, but you totally could. Do I have pockets on the side? No. No. But you could wear you could put pockets on both sides, and if you don't want to do pockets, you don't have to put pockets on either side. It doesn't matter. But it's a great apron, and I love that it just slips over your head. And we're not even close to done. Well, maybe we're close to done. Maybe we're close. And here's that other jelly roll case that I mentioned. This is all from the same book, yes. It's 80 handmade gifts in this book. And we're not even going to, there's no way we can touch on all of the food things in here, because obviously you can't keep those stored in a box forever. But we have a whole knitting chapter, a whole sewing chapter, a whole crochet chapter, a whole food chapter, and then a miscellaneous chapter. There's 80 projects in this book. So yeah, it's quite a bargain. Thanks, Cherie. She says it's the best book. Liz, yes, you do need this book if you have any interest in making assorted handmade gifts, most of which are really easy and don't take that long. Yes, you do need this book. It's such a great reference book to just have on hand at all times, not just for holidays or birthdays, although it's good for that too, but just to be able to make something handmade at a moment's notice to make someone feel special. So this is that jelly roll case I was talking about. This one you could put in. If you're doing it for a crocheter, you could put crochet hooks in here. If you're doing it for a knitter, you could put knitting needles in there. If you're doing it for an artist, you could add markers or coloring pencils. If you're doing it for a kid, you could put markers or coloring pencils in there. Wouldn't that be beautiful? And then when you're done, makeup artist, put makeup brushes in there. Yeah, a hostess gift. Yes, all of these would be wonderful for hostess gifts. I've done tons of hostess gifts from these books, from this book. And then you wrap it up with the yarn and tie it, and you're done. Then there's some projects for making decorations around a vase and putting a candle inside. The candle holders are an absolutely gorgeous gift and beautiful to use for yourself. Then I made some bowls out of crochet and epoxy. So ultimately you're making a hat, right? You're making a bowl-shaped hat, and then you're hardening it to turn it into a bowl. You hear how hard that is? This one got damaged a little bit in the storage, but can you hear that? So awesome and gorgeous. So you can learn how to do those as well. And then I'll just give you a brief little tour through the food section. We'll start at the food. So we've got stuff from chai spiced granola and a chai spice blend where you can make the spice to make chai tea at home. Spiced nuts that don't have any butter or oil added to them. My no-bake energy baklava balls. Those are amazing. People love that. My toffee. Everybody loves this recipe. People ask for it specifically at Christmas time. Then there are all sorts of flavored simple syrups, which are a great way to flavor your tea, flavor your coffee, flavor your lemonades. The lavender and the rose scented simple syrups taste amazing in homemade lemonade or limeade. So delicious this time of year, or in iced tea. There's a banana, lavender, blueberry, rose, lemon, and orange here. They are amazing. Great to give as gifts. You could give an assortment of them as gifts, but really great for flavoring lemonades and iced teas. Then we have some herb and garlic scented oil, some different flavored vinegars. This one is a raspberry flavored vinegar. Oh, here's where I was talking about those delicious loaf cakes. So I gave 3 different recipes for lemon blueberry, lime raspberry, and orange cardamom, then how to make all three of them into mini loaf cakes, a loaf cake, or mini muffins. So there's 9 different recipes right here. And they're showing how beautiful it looks wrapped in the crochet edged bandana. Isn't that beautiful? Makes a fantastic gift. These are all 3 absolutely delicious. The fruit just gives so much vibrancy to the recipes. Then I've got a whole section on pickling. This Moroccan flavored pickled carrots is something I learned how to make when I lived in Israel, and it's out of this world. Then I have an Asian pickled green beans here and some sweet pickle relish, all super duper yummy. And again, using mason jars. So Joe loves my pickled carrots. I'm so glad, they're amazing. My truffle recipe, easiest thing you'll ever make and wows people every time. And I also show you where to find the little boxes so that it makes a great presentation. Then my cheese logs, which are absolutely yummy. Cheese crackers. And then for vegan, if you're going to a vegan house party, you might want to make the quinoa crackers. These are so healthy and so delicious and really beautiful too. Can you see that texture? So pretty. So if you've got healthy people to make gifts for, I'm sure they would appreciate it. Here is a vegan probiotic cashew cheese that tastes like cream cheese. So if you have someone super healthy on your list of people to make gifts for, they may really appreciate this too. Then I have a cocoa mix with lots of different flavor choices for flavoring your cocoa mixes to make those handmade. You know, if you look at the ingredients at the store, a lot of these have so many chemicals you have no idea what's in here. This is a nice way to make it a little more wholesome at home. And then flavored sugars. Teach you how to flavor sugars in different ways. Great for cocktails, for lining the rims of cocktails. Great for sprinkling on desserts or all sorts of different things. Just and a fun thing to make with kids too. Then a peach chutney. And that's all the food stuff in there. So you can see it's an assortment of different types of things, some sweet, some savory, but all that can be packaged up and given as gifts, or if you just want to make it for you and your family, that's fine too. All yummy stuff, all easy stuff. Almost everything in the book is easy enough to make with kids or grandkids or Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts. All super easy stuff to Bjorn put his tail on me. I thought it was a monster. Jeez, what's wrong with me, huh? What's wrong with me? All right, I think we might have made it through the book now. How do you order the book? Great question. 80 Handmade Gifts is available on my website as an ebook and also as an autographed personalized copy coming directly from me. Or you can order it on Amazon all over the world. It's available in all the Amazon markets as well. And if you have any trouble finding it, by all means ask me and I'm happy to help. There is a link to ordering it in the video description here, I believe. And again, directly on my website, just go, and when you go to my website, in the front of the shop, there's yarn, books, single patterns, and accessories. Go to books and it will be right there at the top. But if you have any questions, ask me. Does anybody have any other questions? But yeah, available everywhere. We definitely went over today, but those of you that stayed, I hope you enjoyed the show and tell. I know it was a lot to show, and I've got a lot of organizing to put it all away, but I know a lot of you do enjoy the show and tells, and honestly, I can't explain what's in a book nearly as well as I can show it by showing the samples. So we did go quickly through some of the projects, but if you go to the page on my website that resources everything, go to kristinomdahl.com/80 handmade gifts, and you can see all of the projects and all of the photos, and you can get a real solid feel for the book and see if it's something that you'd like there. And if you have questions, obviously leave comments for me. That's fine too. But thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend more than a few minutes with me today. We went long, but thank you all for staying and enjoying the show and tell. I certainly enjoy sharing it with you. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a